Thank you to the Academy. Thank you to all of you in this room. I have to congratulate the other incredible nominees this year for their unbelievable performances. Making The Revenant was about man's relationship to the natural world, a world that we collectively felt in 2015 as the hottest year in recorded history. Our production needed to move to the southern tip of this planet just to be able to find snow. Climate change is real. It is happening right now. It is the most urgent threat facing our entire species, and we need to work collectively together and stop procrastinating. We need to support leaders around the world who do not speak for the big polluters or the big corporations, but who speak for all of humanity, for the indigenous people of the world, for the billions and billions of underprivileged people who will be most affected by this, for our children's children, and for those people out there whose voices have been drowned out by the politics of greed. I thank you all for this amazing award tonight. Let us not take this planet for granted. I do not take tonight for granted. Thank you so very much.
Hi, welcome to the Durian Heat, where we discuss critical issues from Southeast Asia. My name is Grace Cho. You just listened to Leonardo DiCaprio's speech at Oscar 2016. He emphasized on the climate change, and let's not take this for granted. Yes, not granted. For 2 weeks in December, people gather in Paris to agree the first international treaty to limit climate change to less than 2 degrees. It's been over 100 days since the summit. Andrea and ASEAN would like to talk what it was like to be there and what's the expectation. Our guests, Sunitha Bisan, who is a chair Environment and Climate Change Commission National Council of Women's Organization NCWO and a founder of Panita Jaya, and Anthony Tan, who is an executive director of Center for Environment, Technology and Development Malaysia, SETEM, to share their experience and what needs to be done from civil society point of view at the Durian Heat.
The Durian Heat, bringing big ideas and critical opinions in Southeast Asia.
So Sunitha, you attended COP21.
Yes, I did.
And did congratulate the Malaysian government for sending NGOs as well as students over there. And we had an interview with the students here regarding COP21, and they were very happy that they were able to participate in that conference and learn quite a lot. But again, on the other side, Anthony just mentioned the talks, the conversation they had. It's more or less the same compared to the past few years. So shall we just open this platform just to talk about it?
Yeah.
And also regarding, of course, climate change.
I think, like for me, when I went to COP, the most shocking thing for me at first was that you would expect to have a more deeper concentration on environment, and on ecosystems and biodiversity. Unfortunately, it didn't really go that way. So, although many of us, we were fighting or advocating or pushing forward the agenda for our planet and saving the planet, and not just saving this planet, actually saving our lives. The planet moves on. It's just us, We have to learn to adapt to this changing world, because many people have come and gone, and the negotiations or the discussion moved on to more green technology issues. And like Anthony also mentioned earlier on, green technology is as simple as walking, as simple as cycling. That's green technology.
So you mean it should be part of our lives?
Yes,
Yeah.
but it is a $1 trillion issue.
Yes.
You are looking at a $1 trillion industry, a new industry that's going to come up. And we have to be a bit careful about what we are doing, because having solar energy is very good, but having solar farms on productive land is not a good solution, because we need to grow our food. Yes, and you end up, with other issues of land grabs, that has not been settled. A lot of various issues that comes into consideration. I think the most important thing, also like what Anthony has just mentioned, is about efficiency, about how you use your energies efficiency, how you use what you have efficiently, how you optimize what you have, instead of clearing more land and building more spaces and having so many malls when it's not even to full capacity. How many malls can you build in a city? I mean, seriously, it's a mall.
More buildings are coming up, to be honest.
Yeah, but the thing is that it's not efficient, it's not functional. So we can have a lot of things that fuels industry, but if it's not functional, I think we already need to start thinking twice. Otherwise, the development is not sustainable. So that was the thing. But whatever it is, COP has been, for those who are working on gender issues, has been a very challenging platform.
I see. Because
the COP, which is the Conference of Parties coming from the United Nations Framework Convention on Climate Change, is not gender-friendly space.
I see.
It was started as a very technical sphere on how to look at climate change, and it's very scientific. So everything needs to be very sterile in that sense. Only recently, I think, the recent intergovernmental panel for climate change, the IPCC review 4 and 5, has more of communities, looking more at adaptation. But again, we also should look at how we are doing mitigation and how women are doing mitigation. And that's where I get a little bit excited.
Right.
I would say a bit too excited because I think that women have great knowledge.
They do.
And have so much technology. It may be not your fancy technology. Some of it are. But, they are doing something. And yet we don't recognize this, and then again, this is where you have to break the silos. You have to include everybody in development, include everybody in your climate action. If you don't have that inclusive policy, then it will never be a reality. We will still struggle. Yeah.
But then COP21, like you mentioned before, it was the platform last year, to include most of people, to be honest. Wasn't it? I mean, even though there were some challenging part when it comes to conversation, creating the conversation platforms there.
Well, sometimes, when you're part already into the negotiation, you tend to want to... what I would like to say is I don't want to burst the bubble, as I would like to say it.
Okay.
But reality is reality, okay? Diplomatic negotiation of agreements are just that, diplomatic negotiations. So if you can get something out for climate for people, that's good.
All right.
Right. So I'm sorry to be pessimistic about it, but
that's very honest.
But many of us have worked very hard, both nationally, locally, regionally, internationally, to push a lot of this agenda forward. And we have a lot of successes also on the ground. Working within the region, locally too, internationally, we have made progress.
That's the end of first segment of the Durian Heat. Stay tuned with us.
You're now listening to Durian ASEAN, the voice of discovery and sharing.